Hey everybody, this is Jeffrey Weiss with Advantage Video Systems. Thank you so much for joining me. You know, I put together a cool home studio that I want to show you guys what we do. So let me just go over our studios. We have 3 little stages to show you. Let's start right here. We have an iMac here, and this is running a teleprompter software with our prompter people teleprompter that we have. Next, we have audio control. Now here's our mixer. We have this Yamaha 12.2 mixer with 12 channels in, 2 channels out. We usually pipe audio to the camera and then go from the camera to our switcher software, and I'll explain that in a minute. So this right here is our iCan 4K 24-inch reference monitor, 2 SDIs in and 2 SDI out, plus 4 HDMI in and out. This is a full reference quality monitor. It's a Rec 709. There's companies that make Rec 2020s, which most of what you install to these days at studios are Rec 2020 in more production studios. But for internet or for light broadcasting, all you need is Rec 709. And if you want to find out more about Rec 709, I'll put a little link down below of what that means and what Rec 2020 means. And we'll have another video on that kind of differences. So if you want to look at that there'll be another video on that. So another thing we have here is our timecode generators. These are the Advent ones. You plug these into the cameras through the LANC connector. If we plug our systems in through the Blackmagic switcher that we have, that generates its own timecode. But a lot of times we're generating these independently, not going through the Blackmagic switcher. And so we want to have everything generated on a time code that's generated that. We have 10 of these available. The next thing that we do have is our camera control system. This is the Blackmagic Design camera control. It allows us to control 4 Blackmagic cameras. We do have another way of controlling the cameras. Blackmagic with their cameras has an app that they have, and you can have it on phones. And then I have things like I have my tint and my white balance, and pretty much everything you can do on a camera I can control from the iPhone here, and it's only $6 for the app. Now we have a couple of monitors. We have our large monitor here, which we either have on a multi-view or we have it on a program signal right now. Below that, we have a computer monitor that's hooked up to our computer. We have a Macintosh notebook in here, and we have this monitor set up here, and we have an additional monitor set up here. So we have our full switcher controls here. We can control everything from our switcher and do it all on this big monitor. So let's move on to the switcher. So this is the Blackmagic ATEM Extreme ISO. ISO means I can record each channel separately. I can do 8 sources. I can have 8 cameras. I can have 3 cameras like I have now, and then I can have a computer reference, and I can have a media reference, and I can have different references. I can also load up references, so it has a media input, so I can still store images or videos short range into that. If I need to do any long range, I just plug it in as a source, so I can bring it in as a source. So I can, if you have, recorded or hard drives or anything that you have, media players, you just plug them in here in the HDMI, and then boom, if you have an SDI out on a device, you just convert that from SDI to HDMI and plug that in here, and you're rocking and rolling. So right here we have a record. I can hit the record button, and it will record, and it's recording each individual channel separately. Plus, if I switch it, it'll also record the switch, so it'll be a second channel. So if I have 3 cameras hooked up, I'm recording 3 individual sources plus whatever I'm switching. So if I go camera 1, camera 3, camera 2, camera 1, blah blah blah, it'll actually do that switch for me as one record, and then each individual camera separately. So if I need to re-edit it later on and change how I'm doing it, I can do that and have no problem because I have each of them in this ISO. You also have a stream button here as well, so I can set up a stream key. Just put the on-air button, and you preset up where you're streaming it to, and then it'll allow you to stream it to that source right there. It has 2 HDMI outs, so like I said, right now we're going 1 to that monitor over there and 1 to this monitor over here, so we can have 1 multi-view and 1 program signal. Allows our team to really control and see what we're doing. So that allows us to get that. We also have 2 USB-Cs out, so I have 1 plugged into these Wise drives. We use the Wise drives. These are Wise 2 terabyte drives. We use these for a couple reasons. First of all, they're supported by Blackmagic. Second of all, they're really good quality. There's a lot of other choices out there. There's Blackbird and so many other choices out there, but we've chosen these for this solution here, and they just plug right in. They hook right onto our cameras. We have 1 in each camera. We have 1 on here, so we record the cameras, ISO on the cameras, And the reason we record the ISO on the cameras and also on the Blackmagic switcher separately is because the camera is going to record RAW. So we'll record Blackmagic RAW on the cameras, but the switcher will record like a 1080 signal or 720, whatever we tell it to do, but it won't do RAW on this. So we'll have that. We'll have the basic, 1080p here. We'll have RAW recorded there. So if we really want to do a much higher end signal, a much better edit later on, which is what we do a lot, then we do that. So a lot of times we don't even take the ISO from here. We just take the RAW signals from the cameras. Another thing you have here is you have two audio ins, so I can come here. I have my right here my RCA high 8 mini stereo little plug here. We have two different inputs in, so we can have channel 1 and channel 2 in, and we do that. And then we have a headphone so we can monitor off of this what we're hearing, so we can make sure that the audio that's coming through here is going well. Now, we don't use the audio in the mini stereo audio into this, because what we do here is we take the audio and go directly to the cameras, and then the cameras the audio is embedded into one of the signals. Like we'll go camera 1, we embed all the audio into camera 1, and then we input that, and then we turn on audio on source 1, and then that proliferates it to all our other channels. And we find that that's a better source of audio rather than going through the mini stereo jack. But that's that. And then the next thing I want to show you, these are the Ultimatemat minis. The way it used to work with Ultimatemat is you'd have to buy one large processing unit, and then you buy one big unit for each of the things. Now the difference in those bigger units is they can do 4K. They cost a lot more money, but they do 4K. For most of what we're doing streaming stuff. You don't necessarily do 4K when you're streaming, so you do that. These are relatively cheap. They're about $500, $495 each. So you have one for each camera. The Sage is actually green screen back there, but what we're seeing is the Ultimatemat. You just load the setup into your camera, and then you run the cameras into the Ultimatemat minis, and then out of the Ultimatemat minis into the switcher, and then that's what you get there. So it's a relatively easy system to do, relatively less expensive thing to do. All of our cameras and all of our Blackmagic stuff is hooked up through this switcher. Blackmagic is everything through IP, so I plug in all my Blackmagic stuff through the IP switcher here, and then we have different controllers. These are for some of the PTZ optics cameras that we have, and and stuff like that. So we have that. So that's pretty much the control room here that we do. We have one more part of the control room I'll show you, which is the producer's monitor here. A lot of times we're doing live streaming, and we need to have a separate system for producers. So while we're streaming out, a lot of times people are commenting and reacting to what we're doing, and we want to have someone there to answer questions and to react to people's statements and to post things and stuff like that. So we have a separate computer here that allows them to do that, and we can move this anywhere we want in the office. But we have it right here normally, and it's easy peasy. They come in here, and it's hooked up to our network, and they're able to do that. So this is a producer's notebook that we have here, and we'll do that. So what we have here is the Highland communication system. This unit comes with 8 headset control systems, and this gives about 350, 400 feet I can communicate with. So this allows me to do that. And they have a newer one. They just came out with a little smaller headset that they've just released. This is last year's model, but it does a really good thing. I have 2 of these. So I have a total of 16 communication systems. These big control systems link to each other. You have 8 per box. It comes in this road case that allows you to travel around with it easy. The next thing we have is our AV Pro Matrix box. This is the server for the Matrix box. The Matrix box allows me to basically send any signal to any signal. So this is the control system, and we have the encoder boxes, and we have the de-encoder boxes. So I plug a camera into the encoder box, and then I run a cable from the encoder box, either through Ethernet or through fiber, to a switch. I have here a PPOE switch here that allows it to power the unit, so I don't have to run a power to each of these units. And then I run there, and then it comes out to the decoder box, and then I can do that. So decoder and encoder boxes and the C box controller system allows me to basically control the camera systems and the resources and go to anywhere I want. So for instance, one thing I might do is a video wall. I may take, I want to take this camera source and this video source and this. I want to make a video wall. Or I can do digital signage. Like I say, I want to send this signal all the way over there, and I want to send this all the way over there. Or I can do it, any different ways I want to do it. Maybe I have camera systems around an area, and I want to bring them all into my ingest system, my switcher. I can do that. I can take cameras and put them all over the place, put in these decoder encoders, and then bring them into my Blackmagic switcher and then control them that way. So that's the very, very cool thing from AV Pro. Like I said, I'll put a link to the AV Pro system in the notes fields below if you want to look at that, and there's a link there if you want to get it. It's really a cool box. So let me go over here and talk about what we have on the set, on set 1. Okay, as you can see, we have a nice green screen set up here. We have 3 panels of 8x10s. We have different lighting systems. So we have the ICANN lights, 2 1x1, and then we have 3 half-by lights. We also have the Quasar scientific lights. And we shoot out these 3 cameras. So we have the Blackmagic 6K Pocket Pro cameras, really good cameras. We have HDMI going out to our switcher. We have our Wise 2 terabyte drives plugged into each of the cameras. We also have the prompter people, teleprompter system here. And then we have our stage monitor, our confidence monitor. We have audio through our Audio Technica lavalier mic. Everything is one wired. And this is stage 1. So if you have any questions about what we're doing here, a lot of the stuff, we'll put links down below. But if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give us a call. Number is 800-287-5095. That's 800-287-5095. You can call my cell phone number, which is 818-624-4242. Again, that's 818-624-4242. Our website's advantagevideosystems.com, advantagevideosystems.com, and you can reach my email, which is jeff@advantagevideosystems.com. This is studio number 2 you're in right now. We mostly use this as our streaming, our like YouTube or our live streaming system that we have here. We have, again, we have the Quasar scientific lights up there, our Duracast light up there, our ICANN light up there. We have another Duracast light here as well. So we have plenty of lighting around that we need. Here's our computer that we run a system on, and you can see that. We have everything records down to these Wise drives that we had before. We have those, and we have a big monitor behind us right there, and we have our video up here. We have a small little prompter system here. This is a really nice prompter system. You can from Frontage, you can see them, and they make really nice prompters. We use prompter people. We use these people. We have a couple different prompters. This one right here uses an iPad. We also have our audio. So we have a USB. We have a USB to XLR, and then we have our lavalier microphone. I'll put a link to all this stuff, everything in here. This is the HuddleCam PTZ camera. It comes with this remote control, and you can see I can go backwards and forwards and all that stuff. So I can zoom in and zoom out. I can pan up and pan down, so I can customize when I do. It also has 9 different settings, so I can actually save 9 different camera angles on this camera and be able to instantaneously go from one point to another point. So I can, and then it allows me to go back, and I can say preset and save that, and then I can scroll in and I go preset and save 2, and then I can go to 1, and I can go to 2, and I can instantaneously be able to go to different camera angles. We have multiples of these HuddleCam cameras. I recommend these. We use these a lot in events. We put these all around. They make 2 versions of this camera. They make this one, which is the USB and HDMI, so you can plug in USB into your computer, or you can go HDMI and go into a Blackmagic switcher or whatever you want. And you do that. You just have to power it through the USB. but you can go that. The other one is the NDI version, which is the network version. So you can go out of that as a network plug it into a switch, and you can go 200 feet on an Ethernet cable, plug these anywhere you want around your event location, and be able to do that. So there's two versions of those cameras. We have another 6K Pocket Pro camera. Here we have a PTZ Optics PTZ camera, a pan and tilt and zoom. And then I'll just turn around here, and we have our last studio here. This is I use a lot for my podcasts and stuff like that. We have a big 49-inch monitor up here. We can pop our monitor up here. Of course, we have another HuddleCam camera up here. We use these a lot, I said. So we use these. I can do that. This is our M-RAID. This is a network drive RAID. This right now will also run off of USB-C. So I have this plugged into my Thunderbolt 3. Actually, it's a Thunderbolt 4 version, but I have the Thunderbolt 3 version, and I have it plugged into my Mac in the back there. And then this is an LTO9. So LTO stands for Linear Tape Open. Linear Tape Open basically is a tape. LTO9 will hold about 15 terabytes of video or 35 terabytes of data. But these tapes cost like $125 or something like that. Then what gets expensive is the drive mechanism. So the drive mechanism is about $5K. If you do a lot of backups, it can actually pay for itself, and it's much more secure than hard drives. Hard drives are not secure; they will die the minute they're born. They're dying. So, if you do any kind of backup, you either want to back up by cloud or you want to back up to LTO. We do LTO a lot, but we do cloud as well. There's a company called Backblaze and Wasabi. They're two great cloud backup systems that we use. If you want to find out more about them or what kind of backup structure would be good for your business, we'd be happy to talk to you. Another thing we have here is we have this control. This is the HuddleCam camera controller. So I showed you the PTZ Optics camera in our last studio, and so this is the controller for that. We also have our audio to USB, so I can plug in a microphone into here and then go into USB. This is our key controller, so when I'm using certain things like Wirecast and other programs, I can actually have quick keys that'll do a lot of functions and stuff like that. And then we have our controller for this camera here and our controller for that monitor there. We have a Shure microphone, so we use this. This is a really nice microphone, gives me really good audio levels. When you're doing podcasts, YouTube stuff, you really want to have good audio because it makes a big difference. So invest a little bit of money. This is a couple $100 microphone, and you can get really good audio out of this one. We have our Behringer mixer here. It's a 32-channel mixer. We have a Wowza streaming system. This is a server that goes to Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and other things, and a direct connection to them. So it has a direct licensing thing to them. So it gives you a really fast connection to those platforms and allows you to stream more professionally. We have a server here. We use these for our encoding servers. If we have a lot of videos and we're sending them out and we need to encode them to different kinds of codecs, we use that through that system. We have an iMac here that we use on some of our projects. So if we use other streaming systems and we're going out to other systems, we're doing other projects, we have old backup computers here. And then we have another computer down here that's hooked up to my PC computer that I don't use as much, but I have this one. This is our 4K monitor. We actually manufactured this when we made a product called 4K. Back here we have a 17-inch reference monitor from Blackmagic, waveform vector scopes from Blackmagic, and then we have the HyperDecks. HyperDecks will record onto these SSDs, and they have HDMI and SDI and timecode behind them, and also audio. So audio, SDI, timecode, HDMI, every component, composite, everything pretty much in these, and I can plug in them. We have a timecode generator here. Back behind us, we have our portable green screen, so when we pop this up, so I can have any kind of background I want. And that's our third studio. If you're going to NAB and you have a limited time, we'll actually do a concierge service for you and arrange meetings so you can go and meet the people you need to meet. So instead of going to a booth and the person that you need to meet is not there because they went to lunch or they're in another meeting with another client, you go, you have a set appointment, you know who to meet, who to talk to, all the booths to see. Sometimes it can be confusing. Where do you find this certain booth for this certain thing you're looking for? We do all that for you. We do it all for free for all our clients. And so you can do that. And if you're not a client of ours, we still do it for free. We do it free for anybody that wants it. We also let them know about parties and other networking events and stuff like that. If you have any questions about what you saw here and the equipment, there'll be plenty of links, and I appreciate you guys coming aboard. If you want to see at any of the shows, we're always out doing things, whether it's SMPTE show, Digital Semi show, NAB show, IBC. We're always at those shows as much as we can be. So let us know. 818-624-4242 is my personal number. That's 818-624-4242. You can also email me, jeff@advantagevideosystems.com. That's jeff@advantagevideosystems.com. And of course, you can go to our website, which is advantagevideosystems.com. Hey, thank you so much, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.